Welcome to the Indie Corner, where we're talking about all things independent comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Christian.
I'm Damone.
And today, people, we're back at it again with another episode for y'all. Another book episode. Because, we haven't done... last book we did was Paper Girls with Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca was there. And that was fun. But we're gonna... This is another podcast, a book podcast with the trio, the violent trio, because every time we do a book on this podcast, it's always a super violent fucking book.
That is true.
Yeah, so we gotta keep the tradition. So
Ultra
thank you.
Mega was violent. This is violent.
Invincible was
violent.
Yeah.
Those are the three.
Not a moment of peace.
No, only chaos, only mayhem, only.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks Damone and Christian for joining me again.
No problem. I mean, I was like right in the middle of grocery shopping, but when you called and you're like, we gotta go do this podcast, I was like, all right, I'm gonna drop everything and help my boy out.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. It literally just like, yeah, man, shit is on. They got fucking
everything's on sale, man.
Yeah. They got what's a movie that people have never watched?
So cheap there.
Yeah, they got the Eddie Murphy collection on rollback, but fucking hey, Mikey wants me to do the podcast, so I gotta come through.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Hallmark Christmas movie collection. Hallmark Christmas movie collection.
It's okay, Damone. We'll get it eventually. But
I got it. Not at that time.
Guys, come on! I gotta announce the book.
Go for it, man. I'm sorry.
Yes. So the book that we're going to be covering, people, is a book that I've been wanting to cover ever since we're on the Students of S.H.I.E.L.D. days. Obviously, we're not there anymore because we're doing our own thing now, if you haven't noticed. And it is the book titled The Strange Talent of Luther Strode, written by Justin Jordan with art by the insanely talented Tradd Moore, and from Image Comics. And this book came out, I believe, in 2012. I'm excited to talk about this book, people. Trying to get into the action, and hopefully you enjoy it. So I got number one. I was about to ask who has number one, but it was me. So we'll just get into it. 6 issues. So issue number 1 of The Strange Town of Luther Strode. All right.
Let's talk about the cover.
Of course.
Good ass cover.
Of course.
He looks like a serial killer.
Dude, it is yeah, like you see this man in the mask with the all wearing all black, all bloodied. Yeah, it just seems like this man murders folks for a living or something. Like it's very dark. You can I like
think he does it for a living. It's just definitely a hobby.
Of course, but I do respect covers, especially like in indie comics where they don't hold back and it's very direct. They're like, this is what you're getting into. This man is a bloody man with a mask. It ain't a kid's book. No, I mean, it's ain't Marvel, it's ain't DC. All right. So I love it. And also, for people who don't know Tradd Moore did all different Ghost Riders. So he did the introduction of Robbie Reyes, and that's what brought me onto him. That's because I love Robbie Reyes and I love that that volume he worked on. And he also did Silver Surfer Black. That book is ridiculously brilliant as well in terms of the art. And he's known for also doing this. So with Tradd Moore is his style is extremely unique. So expect madness when it comes to Tradd Moore when you hear his name. So that's all I gotta say. So we good talking about the cover?
Yeah.
All right. So basically this book starts with this Luther, our main character Luther Strode, talking to the audience, talking to us about how introducing himself as Luther Strode. He, and he appears to be shot a lot. And it seemed, but the weird thing is that like the bullets are stuck in his muscles. Like he's intentionally doing this to keep himself alive. And he acknowledges that, this is a pretty strange thing. This isn't normal, but it appears that like, I got some talents, you know what I mean? So so basically just realize like, hey, this isn't an ordinary tale. And obviously he ends up pushing the bullets out of his body. And then we see the next page and we see the mayhem that he has caused. He murdered the fuck out of these. He turned these guys into Jenga pieces. It's crazy. And I like how like, because they're all separated and crumbled.
Except for that guy on the couch, he's just eating a snack.
Okay. Yeah, he's eating another guy's arm.
Yeah, no, it's just a snack.
Yeah, snack. That's what he said.
It's a snack. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, it's a snack. But I love the fact that we see not only Luther just standing there being like, "Yo, what the hell did I just do?" but also the fact that like we see how he did it with these various other panels. So pretty interesting when it comes to like storytelling here. But yeah, so it transitions to about I don't know, they don't really have a time frame, but we'll just say it's like a couple weeks ago or so.
It was a couple months.
Yeah.
Because
it was at least because he was in like 6-month confinement at home.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought that
like
was
his mom lockdown or something. Oh, 6 weeks. I thought it was month.
I thought it was week, but a certain amount of time.
Oh, no, you're probably right.
It's definitely between a day and a year.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we transition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It transitions way back before the incident that we're getting introduced to occurred, and we see what Luther used to look like. He's very, very skinny boy. I always compare him to like another Peter Parker type of archetype, just a dork, an outcast. And he's holding this book called the Hercules Method. It's basically like those pamphlet workout books that you get in the mail back in the day, I guess. And he's talking with his friend Petey about he's gonna start training and all that stuff to get himself in shape and learn some kung fu moves to protect himself from bullies and not get picked on. Which, I mean, listen, that's what a Peter Parker character would do. And then we get introduced to his mom. I don't really know if they mentioned the mom's name at all, but she seems like mother number one. Yeah, let's call her that. Mother number one, Mrs. Strode. Miss Strode. We get introduced to Miss Strode, and she seems like a typical like mom character, very nice, very friendly. But we do notice that she has a cast on her wrist, so obviously there's a little bit of a mysterious past with her, or there's something up with her, but we're not sure yet. So then obviously Luther's talking to Petey about the Hercules method and all that stuff, and how excited he is and how pumped he's ready to do it. And then it transitions to him actually like training, and he looks like ridiculous doing all these weird poses and like doing push-ups with his lanky arms and then posing a little bit and doing all these methods. And he's just like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And we'll see what happens.
Progress.
Yeah, it barely any progress. He lived with those noodle arms of his. And yeah, but while he's doing that, it transitions to this like, it's a very close-up shot. I don't have the page here, but of a strange figure, a strange man
with luscious lips,
like chapped lips and messed up teeth, taking out his tooth, and then he flicks it into someone's eye, and we get introduced to this mysterious bald man who I think might be British. He was British when I read him, and he's just talking about how we may have located someone great here for our cause. And yeah, so there's another mystery going into it. Transitions a bit later, and Luther is just devouring the entire fridge. He's eating the leftovers. He's eating the leftovers.
Before
and he grabs. What's up?
His name's Librarian.
Just did he introduce
confusion?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna say that later, but yeah, we know him as the Librarian. That's all. This is a code name. So yeah, Luther's eating all of his shit. He's about to take some OJ and some milk, which again,
that's
I don't know how I feel about it.
Nasty combination. Yeah.
Like would it taste like orange creamsicle? Like that? Is that what he's going for?
Tastes like ass.
Oh.
It's like straight up.
I don't think the milk's sweet enough for it to be like the creamsicle.
Interesting. Yeah, well, that's what I thought in my mind. Yeah, but he's downing both a jug of milk and OJ at the same time, and then he noticed something kind of strange. He kind of can see his mom like about to drop a glass, like he like kind of like predicted her movement, and then he ends up dropping the milk and then actually catching the plate before it drops to the ground. So like his reflexes have enhanced a bit, and he's not sure what's going on. And then Petey knocks on the door, and they have to get ready for school. And yeah, but at the same time, they do a good job with the artwork. Trad with showing like the cast, and then being like there's something off with Luther's mom a little bit. She seems very sheltered, which is a note to something to keep in mind. So yeah, so then Pete and Luther go to school, and then we get introduced to a new character by the name of Petra, who is the love interest, the character that Luther has a crush on. Petey tries to have him, push him towards Petra so he can actually like talk to her for once. And obviously from her, the way we see here, she's very like spunky, very charismatic, likes to be sarcastic and all that. And then while that's happening, the bully character, the Flash Thompson, if you will, is mocking him, making jokes, recording him. He's talking about how a loser he is and how like why the hell he's talking to this girl. And then to spite this man, Petra decides to just grab Luther and just kiss him and make the guy uncomfortable. And Luther's just like, yeah. And then Luther and she ends up telling the guy, oh, like I'm his girlfriend, and he's just like, yo, you're my girlfriend. Shit, I got a girl now. Let's go. So yeah, I like, again, really cool. Typical stuff. Transitions against the dodgeball dodgeball in gym class. The bully. By the way, you guys know what the bully's name is? I always forget. I'm just forgetting his name.
I want to say it's Alex.
Alex.
I remember.
I was thinking Doug, but I wasn't sure. I want to call him Doug for now.
I'll look it up. Boy, continue.
Yeah. So Doug is obviously harassing all the nerds. He's fucking getting bullseyes and shit. And then I think he hits Petey in the face with the dodgeball. And then right when he's about to throw one at Luther again with his reflexes immediately just catches it, and he's just like, "What the hell?" And then obviously he's obviously like Luther's getting those after images again, seeing like the possible movements that Doug is gonna make, and then ends up straight up yeeting the ball into his face, and it's awesome. And I love how notice here with Tradmore's art, the way Trad does blood trails to make it look more intense. You know what I mean? I think it's really cool. But yeah, so transitions from there. We see like it transitions at night to like a ship that's parked in that's in the water, docked by the city. This guy is running. Seems like he's running from something. There's blood everywhere, and then it turns out the person that he's running from is actually the librarian, who ends up knocking down a sealed door, and it's just like, what is this thing? Like, what's going on? And then and I believe he says that, like, he says, I think I'm seeing right here that there's so little time left to do in it, like he's looking for something, or like he's trying to find somebody. So yeah, so then it transitions to the bathroom after gym class. PD and Doug are just it's PD and Luther.
Apparently his name is Jacobson.
What happened?
Jacobson. I think this is like I don't think this is right after gym class.
Yeah, it's a few weeks after.
Is it? Yeah, they don't. They should. That's the one thing. That's the thing. There's no time stamp.
And his name's Jacobson.
That must be his last name. It has to be his last name.
I couldn't find his first name anywhere. They just call him Jacobson.
Well, for now, he's Doug Jacobson. So yeah, they're in the PD and Pete and Luther in the bathroom, and then they're just they're talking about what happened with Doug, and about how like you decked him in the face, and like his face is messed up apparently, like you're gonna get action for a death wish, like what's going on. And then Doug bursts in and is being like, yo, I'm about to give you a beat down, basically. And then he actually punches Luther in the stomach and actually gets him pretty good. And but then and then he grabs him, puts him against the wall, and is like, yo, I'm about to like beat the shit out of you and all that, typical bully stuff. But then something else weird happened, and Luther ends up seeing like his muscles and shit. Like he has like some sort of like X-ray mode vision, puts his hand into a fist, and basically punches this guy so hard and knocks him out cold. Yeah, and he did that because he was talking about how like Petra was like a slut and all that, and he didn't like that, obviously. So he punches Doug in the face, knocks him out cold, and he looks up everyone's shocked. I think one of the boys actually throws up, and then he looks at his bloodied fist and is like, holy shit. And that's how issue 1 ends. So thoughts on?
He's got that creepy smile on his face too.
Yeah, true. So thoughts on issue 1?
I like
solid
it.
Opening. Yeah,
it's a very solid opening. I've got a lot of leads, like answers I want, questions I want answered.
Yeah, it does a good job.
What is Doug Jacobson's real name?
Yep, that's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the book does a good job. The issue does a good job of like, getting like setting up like, hey, here's Luther, here's his friends, here's his family, but also like here's like a little bit of tidbits indicating like there's something not right with him, as well as like this mystery going on. So like, yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, anything else you want to say about issue 1? Art, I think the art, like you could tell that like Trad Moore's artwork just straight out the gate is very unique. Like he has a very unique style in terms of like how he does anatomy, how he does line work, how he does like effects. Yeah, the blood trails, and all that. Yeah, it's extremely unique. It works really well with this book for sure. Makes it stand out. But yeah, anything else y'all want to say before we move on to issue 2?
I'm good.
You're good? You sure you're good?
Oh, I do want to say one thing. I like the way he does hair. I don't know what it is about it, but it looks very appealing to me.
Yeah, it's that's actually one thing I do like about him as well in terms of his art, his hair. The way I wouldn't say it's like overly detailed, but like he does indicate like the various strands within hair and all that, which is like cool. And also like the various styles that he does.
I think it's really cool how he sometimes does like the sheen of light against the hair. I think that's a nice touch.
For sure. But yeah, okay, awesome. I guess that's it. So moving on to issue dose of the Strange Town of Luther Strode. Thoughts on the cover, people? I love this movie.
He's starting to look a little jacked now.
Before look a little beefy.
Yeah, it was looking like a
street man.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that like, obviously like it's showing that like there's something wrong with him and how like he's kind of changing into something. I love the fact that like he's just seeing everyone just as meat, as flesh, nothing else. Very creepy. I don't know, like that'd be a creepy situation to be in just as a kid in high school, but like you're walking around, everyone just looks like a fucking like anatomy book.
True, very true.
But I do think that my theory, because I when I first read this book, I didn't know I didn't know what it meant, but I think it's how he determines like weak points and weaknesses in people. I think I don't know. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it entails, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I
think that makes
sense.
Cover.
Could be.
Yeah, dope cover. But yeah, so moving on, and we see our golden boy Luther Strode returning to high school. So we could just assume that like they went on summer vacation and now they're back, I guess, or I don't know. Again, there's no timestamp, so like we can't. Maybe like a few weeks later. Who knows? But
I think they mentioned something about the 6 weeks, like we were talking about before.
Yes, that sounds about right. 6 weeks does sound right.
Yeah, but yeah. So he's at he's at the school at the entrance, very hesitant to walk in because obviously he looks a lot different, and he kind of fucked up the jocks, the main jocks, bro jocks face up. And then he ends up, PD tries to go behind him, but he immediately reacts and it's like just flicks him off. And then he's telling PD like, listen, man, like I don't want people to stare at me, like I don't want to look like a freak, but like, dude, you knocked the dude out cold. You knocked the head honcho out cold. Of course, people are gonna fucking stare at you. And then he's like, yeah, of course, why not? So then they go up to their lockers, getting their stuff. And then I love how Pete is just like, yeah, don't worry, man. It's better to be feared than loved. You're good. Don't worry about it. We actually see what the aftermath of what happened to Doug Jacobson, and he's like, his face is fucked up, and Luther punched him so hard he broke his neck. Damn.
He was spinning.
Yeah, he was. So yeah, so then basically he's pissed off, and I love how the fact that like Justin Jordan did a good job of actually interpreting how someone with like a muffled voice would speak. So like he's like, if I don't know if you could tell from the viewers can tell like with the pages with the speech bubbles, but like he's speaking in a very like incoherent gurgle, but you can kind of interpret what he's saying. And I love the fact that like the other jocks have to interpret it, actually explaining what he's saying. It's pretty funny. But he's basically just about to be like, yo, I'm beat the crap out of him, and but he wants to beat the crap out of them both.
I want to say this, and I think it's really hilarious. He did this last time too, and I didn't bring it up, but he claimed that our boy Luther hit him with like a sucker punch and caught him when he wasn't paying attention. Both times he's looking right at the kid.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. He literally stared at him dead on, like, you know. So he has no excuse.
I just think it's hilarious that he has to make one up though.
Yeah, that's right. But then
Make a lot of proof.
So then he's basically about to, like, you know, he's talking about to beat the crap out of them. And then, you know, Petey's like, oh, like, what was that? You want me? Because he wants Luther to beat the crap out of them. Because, you know, they're the head honchos now. And he's about to punch Pete in the face. And then Luther straight up, again, with his quick reflexes, he blocks it, crushes his hand. And then here's the crazy part. He fucking chops this man's head off with his hand. And then he just ends up going berserk and starts killing everybody. And it's just like, even his
homie, Pete.
Like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's nuts.
It was brutal.
He had it coming to him. He was getting on my nerves.
Yeah. So, so then, yeah, like it's crazy. So yeah, obviously, that's how the book ends, people. What are your thoughts on issue 2? Because he went to jail after that. So, I mean,
it was a pretty short issue, surprisingly. Yeah, like it was really interesting creatively to have the rest of the issues just him being in jail,
serving his sentence as a mob criminal.
Yeah, in quiet, relaxing just self-reflection.
Do you think?
And he comes out of a better person.
What is it, Mom?
I said he comes out of prison a better person.
Exactly. Yeah. After, you know, eventually running the prison and making everybody his bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're all just meat.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. I mean, that's basically it. Yeah. So final thoughts and final verdict of the series.
Well, I mean, we still got to read the rest of the series. I kind of want to read the stuff.
Yeah.
We forgot that he also took a time machine to go back in time and right his wrongs.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Guys, we're just fucking with you. We're fucking with you. That didn't happen. It was an hallucination. But
I don't think I read the right story then.
Oh shit! Really?
That's my bad. I guess you guys got the rest of this podcast. I'll just hear quietly.
We got you, Damone. We got you.
But yeah, nah. He kind of imagined murdering all these people. He imagined going berserk, but then obviously he stopped himself and he just says, "Listen, just leave us alone. We won't bother. If you don't bother us, we won't bother you." And I think it's a very what's the word? I don't know why. What's the word I'm thinking? It's very mature of him to do. I think
it is mature, judicious.
Yeah, but also like he doesn't like he's also wondering like what's wrong with him. Why is he seeing people as meat? Why is he imagining murdering everybody? So obviously it's good that he's showing restraint. But obviously Pete's being a dick. It's like, yeah, you better run. Like he's just egging him on. But also he's also seeing his friend as meat and is like, what is happening to me? Like he's
do you think Pete ever tried the manual?
What happened?
Like, do you think Pete ever tried like the Hercules manual and just failed?
I don't know.
Because I'm always wondering how you could see your friend do like that kind of workout and get those results
and not try it yourself.
Not ask about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I assume this doesn't happen, so we never see it. But like, if I were writing the book, I would also have a scene where Pete's just kind of curious, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's then Pete's just like, yeah, you're so awesome. You're doing all this Bruce Lee shit. And he punches a fucking locker for no reason, and it ends up, you know, and fucking Luke.
Oh my god! You know what I just realized?
What's up?
Confederate flag.
You know? Do you see those?
Yeah, the bully has a Confederate flag.
Yeah,
yeah,
the Confederate flag T-shirt.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up, but
no, good thing you got it, Christian.
Yep.
No, he deserves to be murdered. Okay, never mind. But yeah, so it transitions to after Pete punches that locker. Petra shows up, and then you know. And I love how Petra's like, yeah, I'm sure the locker had to come in. And Pete's like, my parents were killed by a rogue locker. And it's just like, it's true. It's true. He's vowed to avenge them soon. That's so funny.
I love the riffs.
Yeah, I love the little jokes in there. It's really
you can
fun.
tell they've been friends for a while.
Exactly. But yeah, so then Petra just talking to him about, you know, I don't know why I'm blanking. Because I also, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of skimmed through this. I kind of skimmed a little bit through the scene.
Do you want to explain what happens here?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, she wants his dick.
Badly. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, she's very forward about it.
Yeah. And he's just not getting these signals.
Yeah, so she straight up tells Pete, "You gotta leave. I gotta talk to him alone."
Yeah, and he's just then and Pete's like, "Oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah, I'll walk away now." And she basically like, "Listen, I've been giving you signals that I've liked you for a while now, but you just ignored them." And then she ends up, giving him a little smooch. It's like, "Yeah, that was a signal." It's like, "Yeah, that was a signal."
And then immediately afterwards was like, maybe she was just making out with me as a friend. I don't know.
I mean, that happens sometimes, though, right?
It does happen sometimes. I kiss my homies goodnight every day.
I was like, "Don't you kiss your homies goodnight?"
Maybe she's just one of the homies, one of the bros.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but so then it transitions to Doug Jacobson again, and he's just he's getting off on the fact. I love he's working out and lifting the weights. And I love the fact that this man is literally getting off on the fact of beating the shit out of Luther. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of this kid. I'm gonna beat his fucking ass. Another pump." It's just like, what the fuck?
No, I don't think you should be working out with a neck brace.
With a neck brace.
I feel like it's a your problem.
Also, he has no spotter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All really bad. Kids at home always have a spotter.
Always have a spotter when you're using free weights.
Mm-hmm.
It's the safe thing to do.
Yep. Exactly. But then, I think he's in the basement. So then, but he ends up while he's working out, he's working out. He ends up getting some blood dripped onto his face. And he's like, "What's going on?" So then he goes upstairs to find, the librarian murdered his entire family. Yeah.
I mean, it was just you say. I know it's still a lot of people, and I know it is just his mom and dad. There's not not multiple people in this family. It's just
that did take me a while to figure out. There's just various body parts of the same two people.
I thought it was his mom, his dad, and his sister, but no. And now I'm looking at it again. It's just his mom and dad. They're just severed.
Okay, all right. This might be morbid, but the mom has some really nice tits.
Yeah, it is morbid, Christian. Yeah.
Christian.
Guys, come on.
Yeah, no. I mean,
also we find out that his name is Paul.
Yeah. We're learning along with the viewers here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But then obviously the librarian's just taunting Paul and being like, "Listen, I borrowed one of your mom's aprons. I hope you don't mind." Paul, obviously, like a rational human being, freaks out and tries to run away, but tumbles down the stairs.
Why did he not try to kiss the cook like the apron says?
I don't know. Listen, he has no manners.
He's not ready to come to terms with the homosexual thoughts that go within his brain.
Yeah, because him clearly beating the shit out of Luther. Him clearly imagining beating the shit out of Luther while he's working out was clearly very gay. So
yeah, he has to, or else it would just be him thinking about making out with Luther.
That's true. But he ends up, trying to save himself. He grabs the bar of the bar, and then he ends up trying to smack him in the face with it. But then librarian kind of grabs it and just bends it, like it's fucking. What's something that's easily bendable, like a
aluminum, or all those things that we said.
Yeah. And then basically just and then I love the fact that he says is like, no, if you want real exercise, all you need is your hands. So yeah, he's strong.
This is what peak performance looks like.
Exactly. So it transitions to Luther, continuing to do the Hercules method, training, working out, meditating. He's trying to be
ripped right now.
Dude, he's jacked. I think he has an 8-pack.
I'm not. Is it? It might even be a full set. I don't know. It's just so many abs.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's an 8-pack, man.
Yeah.
Also, I like the posters in the background. He's got an Iron Giant, the Thing.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice this. Yeah, he has
a Goku one.
Yeah, he has Iron Giant, the Thing, and he has that's hilarious.
Yeah.
He has the cover art for All-Star Superman.
Huh.
Yeah. Which nice. People have never read All-Star Superman, check that book out. It's amazing.
Who's Superman?
I don't know.
Cool.
But yeah, but then while he's doing this, Petra is literally like stuck into his room and just watching him, and he fumbles like a dork, and it's hilarious. And then obviously like they're about to have sexy time. Christian, do the music, do the sexy time music.
What?
Wow,
Wow, wow.
Oh,
I've been feeling right, baby. Hold back this feeling for so long. Wow, wow. It's been a while. Excuse me for my rustiness.
I missed that, so thank you for doing it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so they're basically like talking and talking about how it's just teenage banner humor about how like the fact that like maybe you should put on some pants, but I love the hearts on your underwear, by the way. It's just so funny. And then and she's like, I have a front door, right? He's like, oh no, I'm a back door kind of girl. And he's like, and he's just like, that's not a joke.
She's a freak, I said.
She's a freak?
Yeah, she's a freak.
A super freak? That's what you would say?
She's
super freaky.
Yeah. But yeah, word. But yeah, so he's just asking how she's doing. He's like, oh yeah, I'm doing all right. And anything is like, they're talking about their relationship and how like why the fact that like why does she always want to come here when why didn't he just hang out at her place? And he's like, trust me, you don't want to be there. I don't even want to be there. So, but yeah, like, you don't really, and the next time, you don't have to break in. And then she's basically just like, Luther, just shut up so we can talk. But I don't think they're going to talk because she's like, messing with her strap. With her bra strap, so like,
that's damn.
I thought they're gonna do laundry.
Yeah, they're gonna do laundry clearly, and I love the fact it transitions literally after being like, and Petey being like, "Then you guys fucked, right? Yeah. Then you hit."
You performed vaginal, correct? Yes.
Oh my
Tell
God.
me in great detail, friend.
Pete's really living through his friend.
He really is. Yeah,
he loves this.
But yeah, it's like no weeks, like, and then they're at like a nearby like a mini mart or like a grocery store, and they're just like
buying a shit ton of milk,
dude, because fucking
he's gotta have strong bones.
Luther needs that calcium.
He needs that calcium.
But yeah, so like they're talking this like no, we didn't have sex, we didn't have hot buttery sex as Pete describes it.
I hate how he says buttery.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But then, right as Luther's like grabs his 4 jugs of milk, and he's just like, Luther just senses something and is like, dude, get down. And yeah, the place is about to be robbed. And like, but these two guys, they're sticking up the place, about to get trying to rob these people out of their money, and they're really fucking creepy. So creepy to the point where like the one of the guys, he's like talking to like he has this gun to this girl's head, and he's like, yo, like I have it to myself, starts licking her face. I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, Luther sounds like, Pete, shut up. Let me take care of this. Luther fucking straight up yeets this guy. He yeets the jug of milk. This guy goes fucking flying, and it's just so fucking funny.
His shoe comes off. That's the best shit.
Shout out to an anime, one anime that I love called Durarara, where one of the characters punches someone so hard he flies up in the air and all of his clothes just come off like in midair. It's hilarious. So that's what it reminded me of when I read this. But yeah. So basically, like, he's like, listen, man, like, just walk away and just leave people alone. And they're just like, you know what? No, and they just shoot at him. Luther grabs Luther with these fast ass reflexes grabs like a couple of beef sticks,
Slim
Jims. And yelled, snap into the Slim Jim, like the commercial says.
Of course, because you have to do that before you throw the Slim Jims into the barrel of the guns. and then Luther tosses them both. He takes them both and just slams them until they're unconscious. And then listen, man, you should have walked away. And then he's like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much, like, you're a hero. Thank you. He's like, oh no. And then fucking Pete's watching him and like, dude, you're not a hero. You're a superhero. And that's how issue 2 ends. So thoughts on issue 2, people?
True.
Pretty good. You know what? I'll say it. Just the right amount of dudes kissing this time.
Yeah.
Very proud.
Because there was face collision.
I thought we were 3 or 4 short.
Yeah. You think you were 3 or 4 short dudes kissing?
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's more dudes kissing in the next couple of issues, I'll be okay. But I think
I got you.
We stand now.
Yeah,
like the series number is low.
I got you. That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, no, this issue was pretty good. Yeah, man, especially that action towards the end. I like how did Justin Jordan? That's how you know Justin Jordan has a very imaginative mind. He's like, I'm gonna have this man not like block the bullets or like do some like really crazy superhero shit. No, he's gonna take some Slim Jims and throw them into the barrels of the guns. That's crazy. But I do feel like if you could still shoot, I feel like I don't think Slim Jims are strong enough for Slim Jims though.
Like what I was thinking,
I feel like you might be underestimating how easily the barrel
how
of a gun
hard it is to snap into a Slim Jim.
That's true.
Yeah. What I think what happened was like mid bullet going into the chamber, the Slim Jim came in and blocked it and jammed the mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that. But yeah, other than that, I think the issue is pretty good. Now the whole mystery with the librarian murdering Paul's family was like a very good, like just out of nowhere, just like kind of like page turn. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it was I really liked. And yeah, it shows like, yeah, this man's a fucking threat.
Yeah,
and
I was a little afraid our boy Luther murdered his family at first.
Out of spite.
Yeah, just for the vibe. Just to finish things off.
Yeah, but I do like this kind of like Spider-Man type approach where Peter's like slowly discovers like, hey, like what's wrong with me, and like discovers his powers. The same thing for Luther, but Luther's it seems much more on more of like a darker turn, a more darker route instead of like, a positive like say Spider-Man, But yeah, I think this issue was pretty good in my opinion. I do love the fucking, again, these blood trails, man. When Luther chops his head off, the blood trail makes a spiral because the head spins around. It's so imaginative. But yeah, man. Any other thoughts on issue 2 before we move on to issue 3?
I'm good.
Not good.
All right, so yeah, people. So now we're gonna move on to
it is my turn.
To issue 3 of the issue 3. So issue 3.
Of course. Issue 3, let's talk about the cover first. We see two men post an incredibly passionate kiss while also eating a whole lot of spaghetti sauce.
But Christian, what is actually happening on this cover?
Is two men kissing, yes. Thank you, Mikey. Let's move on. And unless you would like to tell me your artistic interpretation, you are.
No,
please. Yes, I value your opinion. What do you think it is?
I mean,
I don't think they've kissed yet.
I don't think they kissed yet.
Oh, you think they're about to kiss?
I want to emphasize the yet though.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it clearly looks like Luther beat the crap out of him. This guy.
And now he's brutally.
And then he kissed him. Yeah.
And then he kissed him. like his marker, like every time he beats someone up, it just gives him a passion.
Like he beat the shit out of him to assert dominance, and then he's like,
"Oh my god, you know what exactly that's like?
What?
Domestic abuse? Yes.
No, I was gonna say the lipstick thing is exactly what the that lady did in Holes.
Okay, we were talking about Holes earlier to our viewers. This is why we brought it up.
No.
It's not just Timon thinking about Holes all the time.
I mean, I do though.
There's nothing wrong with thinking about Holes, Christian. Come on now.
You're right.
Pause.
All right. Explain your reasoning, and then we'll get into the comic book.
Yeah.
How this reminds you of Holes.
So do you remember how there was the lady who went around stealing all the people's riches?
Like I think like
Murphy.
Because they killed her Onion Man.
Right, yes, Onion Man.
She would kiss them before she killed them.
Yeah.
That was the
thing. There was like poison in the lipstick, I think, or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, kiss him Kate. What was her name, right? Kiss him Kate?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this comic. So we start off with your boy Pete providing some top quality threads, a new basic superhero outfit for the potential superhero Luther Strode. Gives him a leather jacket, lady boots,
Lady boots.
Gloves. Yeah, lady stilettos that they stole from the manic pixie dream girlfriend that he has. Gloves to prevent fingerprints, and a pretty interesting looking mask that personally reminds me of a bunch of bandages on your face.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the mask? Because I don't like, what is it made? Because people think it's just bandages put together, but like I'm not sure what it's made out of.
I don't think it's bandages put together. I think, believe it or not, it's plastic.
Okay,
I think you're right.
It's a party store mask.
Yeah, I think it is a party store mask of some random movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like either that or Petey made the mask himself because he said he got it. And that doesn't make sense. He doesn't seem like the artistic type. And then we get this splash page of this brick shit house of a man. This absolute unit.
He's so large. Like, he got so large.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't look like he's in high school. He looks like a full-grown adult.
It looks like you could land a plane on his chest alone.
He looks like The Rock at 14. Like, that's like, have you seen The Rock?
He looks like a weaker. Yeah, he's hockey.
He was an adult. He was an adult at 14. But here's the thing, right? When I saw this, I love the fact, like, they're trying to make a superhero costume for him, which I think is like a really cool, fun, like, comic book thing. I love that. But like, it looks more like he's trying to do some S&M type nonsense. It's like, it looks like.
Probably.
I mean, he could do both.
He also doesn't feel all that great with it. Later on, he says that he kind of feels like an idiot, but Petey's like, nah, man, you look badass and shit, and we're gonna fight crime together. And he's like, nah, man, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't even think I have superpowers. I'm just hockey. And then Petey's like, oh, don't be ridiculous. You so have superpowers. Well, watch this. And while his back is turned, Petey throws a book, and without even turning around, Luther catches it with one hand, proving his point that he is pretty superpower-esque.
Yeah.
He has abilities.
He does have abilities.
He does, in fact, have abilities.
Yeah, he has power, and or maybe great power, in fact, and obviously,
and possibly a great responsibility along.
No, he's completely irresponsible with it. Honestly,
that is true.
Yep.
Yeah. Petey, obviously, being the comic book nerd that he is, fantasizes about his friend being the man of justice, the man to protect the weak and innocent. And we have an image of All Might's suit with his friend Luther's head on it, fighting a shit ton of ninjas. And
the creator of My Hero stole this from look at All Might from Luther Strode. Confirmed.
You're right. Exposed.
Plagiarism.
Yeah. And then when Petey said that he has an opportunity to help the weak and innocent, we get a flashback to when Luther was a young lad watching in the background and his father beat his poor mums. And he could finally do something and help him out.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we transition to him clumsily sneaking out and his mom using her mommy senses to ask, hey, you're bad at sneaking out. Where are you sneaking out? And he says, the library.
Ninja.
Yes. The whole ninja bit.
Yeah. And Luther hates it.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain the ninja bit more?
No, you got it.
I could explain it.
No.
Okay, yeah, explain it, Mikey. Go for it.
He's basically thinking that like ninja is slang for like someone who's all like sneaky, and she's like, no one says this. Where are you even getting this information from? Listen, man, that's not my fault. You're trying to be on ninja. Stop saying ninja, mom. Stop it. No one says that.
He offers her money.
Yeah.
He
offers her money not to say.
So please stop saying that. Yeah, and then she assumes that he's going to his new girlfriend's house, but he continues to insist that he's going to the library. And she apologizes that I'm sorry that I'm being so nosy. I just want to make sure you're safe and I know where you're at. You could understand why. And she looks off into the distance, all sad and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And Luther picks that up and understands. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about that. Even though he was released not too long ago, he's not going to be able to find us. And if he does find us, I got it. I'll be here.
I love that bottom middle one where he's standing behind his mom. I really like that.
He's giant.
Yeah.
When I read this like part of the book, because obviously like they showed those little bits of like why she's so off and like why she always wants to be inside all the time, because like she suffered domestic abuse and is terrified of her husband, especially now that he's released from jail. I was like, damn, that's so sad. Like, damn, people.
Damn.
Yeah.
So after this page, we go into Luther doing what he actually was going to do, patrol the streets of Gotham City. And he does the whole, I am the night, I am the darkness, I am vengeance, and he is very bored because there is no crime happening in the city right now.
In my head canon, he sounded like Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. Like, I don't know.
I've been waiting for you, little Strode. What? What?
I was born in it.
I can't understand your accent. So he gets bored, frustrated, because this city is known to have a pretty big crime problem, and he stumbles upon a domestic dispute, if you will, of one of the Jersey Shore members, Pauly D. It's being upset.
It's the situation.
The situation being very upset with one of his baddies. So Pauly D, or the situation, I don't know, I never watched Jersey Shore, takes her aggressively off to go home. And Luther's like, disrespecting women? Not on my watch. And then he comes in to interrupt the fight. And the man
no, not today.
Not today, no. And then he's about to leave because Pauly D doesn't want to fight. And then he pulls the Omeo wa Shinderu and teleports right behind him. And obviously he's shocked because he only saw that one in the animes. And Luther Strode rips off his Gucci tank top.
It's true. And there's like a little sheen of light as he rips it off. And I think that's from this Pauly D's abs, right?
Almost definitely. Yeah, the world cannot handle it being exposed for too long. You will become blind just by looking at it.
But obviously the true intention was he meant to like throw him over, but he's just too yoked.
Yep. Here's the problem. So, since he's still yoked, you'd think he'd have a decent fight. But no, Luther makes quick work of him. And he thinks to himself, I did it. I saved the day. Go home, lady. I beat up your boyfriend. And then she's obviously upset because he beat up her boyfriend. Yes. And he was like, I was just trying to help. And this is why you should always ask for consent before you beat someone up.
The more you know.
So his first night of patrol didn't go too well. And he decides to pay a visit to the girlfriend, who is listening to some Green Day at her desk. Some Smash Mouth. And when you listen to Smash Mouth on your iPod, you gotta
my iPod Nano.
Your iPod Nano, thank you, Damone.
Were iPod Nano still back in 2012?
I mean,
I think that was like
see the image right there.
I think. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a random tangent, but no, that's just a random.
Yeah, it was a really random tangent.
Yeah.
Okay, back to it. Luther throws random ass things he could find on the ground to get her attention. Finally gets her attention.
Rocks.
Yeah, different sized rocks. Gets her attention. And she's like, why are you throwing rocks on my window? You could have just called me. And then he was like, I have. You just haven't been picking up the phone. Also, I've been having a really shitty day, and I want to spread this shit wealth amongst thy. And she's like, you want to spread some of that shit wealth to me? Bet. And he was like, yeah, bet. Can I come up and eat your snatch? And she's like, nah, I can't. Someone's coming by. And slams the window, leaving him snatchless.
How would you feel if this happened to you? Just like, she's like, nope.
If a grown-ass man throw rocks at my window and wants to have sex with me, I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I'd be a little concerned, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if he's blonde, like Luther Strode, I'd probably be down to plan with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we go to the thugs from the last issue going to jail, and they're pretty peeved and planning on ways to kill Luther Strode. And the police officers are like, anything you say and do will be held against you in the court of law, correct? Like, we all watched Bad Boys, right?
Yeah, of course.
And they're like, shut up!
No, we all watched 21 Jump Street, where we're just like, we got the right to suck my dick, motherfucker. That's the real Miranda rights.
There you go. And then their cops are obviously thinking that they're stupid because, they're planning a crime right in front of them, and they hear a thud on the roof of the cop car. Confused, startled, all of a sudden, a fist goes straight through the roof of the car, turns this man into a squish toy. I've been trying to think, what does this guy's face look like that got squished? A blobfish or something?
Yeah.
Or like one of those stress toys that you squeeze and their eyes pop out?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, and then the old white guy, he gets just kind of like an aggressive squeeze on the top of the head, and his head gets ripped off. The thugs are obviously shocked by this, and then they get a knock on the back of the police car's door. Gets ripped off. Your boy, the librarian, has showed up.
It's your boy.
Your boy. And he's very upset because they did not return their library books on time and proceeds to murder them.
Would you? I would shit my pants if this man came up to me and was like, you forgot to return your copy of Inuyasha number 12.
I'm so sorry. It was just so good. It was such a good read. I just one more day. Just one.
The late fears of life.
The late fears are. You should have read the contract before signing up for your local library.
It's okay. Okay, listen, man. Yeah. If they ever made like an animated movie, I would love if Jeff Goldblum voiced the librarian, because it's like that scene in Thor Ragnarok where it's like, oh yeah, your sentence. Like, well, what was that thing where like he used the melty stick to melt that guy? It was just like. He's like, oh yeah, then you'll pay for this. Yeah, what, with your life? It just melts this. That's what that reminded. That's what that popped up.
That seems so funny. So obviously this reached the news. Pete, being the good chairman that he is, brings this information to Luther at lunch while they're eating very terrible spaghetti. I want to emphasize that the spaghetti is in fact terrible.
I mean, it's public school spaghetti.
I would like to ask something.
I would like to answer something.
Is this do you think this is like a real live picture video that they're showing him? Like, I know it's drawn for us, but do you think his friend is just showing him a gruesome murder while he's eating?
No, dude, it's a Twitch live stream.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's a Twitch live stream. Hey guys, I'm Booty Liquor 67. Welcome to my live stream. I was here prowling for bitches, and I just stumbled upon this. Anyway, favorite, and subscribe.
I was looking for e-girls, and I randomly stumbled across this murder scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, give me a like, give me a badge, or whatever the fuck you use to pay Twitch streamers.
So Pete obviously gives that Twitch streamer a like and a follow.
Yeah.
And oh god, what's her name? Petra comes by to interrupt their Twitch stream and says, "Oh, are you watching Booty Liquor 67? I love his work. You know he does porn, right?" And they're like, "We're not watching porn."
Well, no. Pete says they are.
Pete says they are. Pete says they're not. But we should also bring attention to the fact that she's wearing sunglasses indoors like a douchebag. But she has good reasons for it that we'll find out in a couple seconds.
And it seems he also has some scuff marks around her wrist.
Exactly. So
he covers them up immediately when Luther notices.
Luther brings attention to the scuff marks, and she retracts. Yeah, and she obviously retracts and goes away, implying abuse from the family.
Of course.
Yes, of course. So Luther picks that up, and we go to an apartment complex with another Jersey Shore member coming back with a whole stack of cash.
I gotta look up Jersey Shore members because we have to call this guy someone.
While you do that, I'll continue with it. Luther's was waiting in the closet the entire time and says, "Here I thought you were just a pussy who hits women."
Now, how long do you think Luther was in that closet? And do you think he was on his phone call?
12
Not once. And he was there immediately after lunch. So since 12, is at least 9. So he's in there for 9 hours, sitting in complete silence, waiting for this man.
Like immediately right after school, he just waited. Also, we're gonna call this guy Ronnie.
Ronnie.
I like it. No, he looks like a Ronnie.
So Ronnie was like, "What the fuck? Why is there shit in my closet? How long have you been there?" And he says, "Ignore that. So you're a drug dealer also. Do you also kick puppies and steal candy from children?" And what's this guy's name?
Ronnie.
Ronnie is like, "Yeah, I kick puppies and I'm gonna enjoy it just as much as I'm gonna enjoy shooting you." And then Luther just grabs the gun, disassembles it, whole John Wick level bullshit, and throws it aside. Yeah?
No. Not today.
Not today. And then he asked politely, "Hit me, member of the Jersey Shore." And he was like,
"Oh wait, I'd like to bring something up. I think it's really interesting how he has black eyes with red eyes."
"Oh yes,
yeah.
First appearance. Yeah, we also see that his eyes have changed. Black irises with red eyes."
I think we've seen the librarian do this before, right?
You might be right.
I don't think so.
Or do we not see it until after this?
Until
we do know that the librarian also has that thing. I'm pretty sure we saw it at some point, so we'll mention that too.
Yeah, but it looks awesome.
Yeah,
and scary.
So Luther gets punched in the chest. Doesn't feel much. He demands you to hit him harder, and he's like, "Sure, why not?" And goes for the chin. Breaks his hand on Luther's chiseled chin.
Yeah, he wants it whacking.
Yep. I asked, "Are you done with this pathetic excuse for an ass whooping?" And proceeds to break his arm, going the incorrect way an arm should go, and throws this man straight to the ground, and demands him to answer his question. Does it feel good being powerless? Huh? Well, actually read this. How does it feel when someone stronger than you decides to take their shit out on you? He begs for him to stop. How does it feel to be powerless? How does it feel to know you can't do anything? And then he throws him across the room screaming, "How does it feel?" And then, before he could hit the wall, the librarian shows up and stops him with his foot, looking like a dapper gentleman.
Fun fact about that. The librarian was waiting exactly 2 hours longer.
Behind that door, waiting patiently.
Like, you were in the closet for 9 hours. I was in the closet for over 12 hours.
Ah, yes, my gentleman Luther Strode. I see you've been waiting 9 hours.
You just couldn't feel my boner because I'm so stealthy. I'm so ninja.
How does it feel, Mr. Strode, to not be waiting as long as I have? So ends issue 3 of Luther Strode. Opinions, thoughts, concerns.
Lots of waiting in this issue.
Whole lot of waiting.
I'm really surprised they drew all the panels of him waiting there for 9 hours. It was
You're welcome for us skipping all those panels for you, because like each panel was like 1 minute.
Like I'll say, actually no, I'm actually gonna make a point about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a point about that actually, because I love the fact that like Trad Moore and Justin do a great job of like, in something like capturing like breaking down like a single, like, because this is 2 pages right here, like breaking down, like taking a scene and like breaking them down into like individual moments with like multiple panels and multiple pages to show like, I don't know, like dramaticism. I think it's really cool. Interesting approach. They do it a lot in the Luther Strode series. So but yeah, this issue was dope, man. I mean, it's again more mayhem. Like the more you read Luther Strode, the more crazy shit happens in it. And yeah, man, it's good stuff. I do love the costume scene. That's great because it's like think about it. Like he imagines Luther being this All Might character, but then makes him like a gimp suit. Like how does that correlate? I don't understand.
Listen, man, the BDSM community and the superhero community,
lots of crossover.
We've seen The Boys, so it makes sense. But yeah, love that scene.
Is that a reference to Herogasm?
I mean,
legendary episode.
Maybe. Will we cover Herogasm on this show? Nope.
Okay.
um,
Dang it! I wonder why.
maybe we'll see.
No, we'll get demonetized like shit.
If Comic Story can do it and Comics they can do it, we can do it. But yeah. Besides, moving on. But I love the stuff with his mom and like they're addressing like her domestic abuse situation and like why she's very protective of Luther and Luther's very protective of her. I like that. It's good, very good stuff. Makes us you sympathize with the character.
Feel for their relationship.
Yeah, exactly. The vigilante stuff is a lot of fun. I think like the girl attacking Luther because she hit her boyfriend was a very a play on that type of trope. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. And then like obviously the violence is wow.
Top notch.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. It's like
yeah.
It's very well drawn. It feels like.
Yeah, but I'm really liking the librarian as like this mysterious figure character that's like
obviously cleans up the mess.
He cleans up the mess, and obviously if you haven't noticed at this point already, it's like he's going after he's going after Luther. That's what he's been doing this entire time. So everyone he's been in contact with, he's messing with, he's killing, taking out. So yeah, it's good stuff. I don't know. Anyone else has any thoughts on issue 3 before we move on to issue 4?
I think one more thing I want to tag on about the art.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how they make they make the pictures feel very dynamic.
Yeah.
Like it feels like there's a lot of motion, even though it's like obviously a still drawing.
Yeah, that's the thing with Trad. Like his art style, he's very good at doing like, especially with his action, he's very good with like making a figure very kinetic. Like with the extra detail and like the speed lines and like how he messes with the figure. I think it's really dope. That's what makes him so unique, in my opinion. Is just like him doing this like his kinetic style. It's really dope.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Because like this one of Luther just picking him up at the very end, like I can feel like I see like his legs kicking as he's
with every like punch, every crushed head, every throw, you can feel that shit, and it's very effective in terms of like Trad style. So
no, it's wonderful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, any other thoughts to make on issue 3?
I think those are my final thoughts.
All right, Christian, you have
amount of dudes kissing.
Okay.
Yeah, not the most, but not the worst.
So, okay, guys, I guess we'll move on to so Chris, you got issue 4.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So issue 4 of The Strange Town of Luther Strange. We have a lot of sexual tension. Luther Strode, my apologies. We have a lot of sexual tension between the librarian and Luther Strode.
Dude, this is honestly like it's kind of gay.
Hey man, it ain't gay if you got your socks on.
It reminds me of like I want that music that they played in the Tropic Thunder commercial with Robert Downey Jr. and Tobey Maguire as like those you know what I'm talking about? You know what? You know what I'm talking about when in Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Wait, no. Tropic Thunder, the commercials for Tropic Thunder and the actual Tropic Thunder?
No, the trailers they put in the beginning of
as much as I'd love to talk about Tropic
Thunder. I absolutely don't. I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what, people? I'm gonna be making a clip. I'll put it in there. So you
talk about Luther Strode.
Yeah, word. But no, this is a really cool
clip,
cover.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really cool cover. I love the the shadows and all that. It shows that like there's something. This is like the Holy Grail or something, or something special about
the literature.
The Hercules that we just don't see.
That's not even all that special. He's just bestowing the power of learning and the library, as the librarian should do. To his
That's the real moral of this book: is that
reading
libraries matter.
Yes, libraries matter.
Libraries matter. That's something that we can all take home.
And also, don't fuck with your librarians, or else they'll murder you.
That is also.
I don't think most librarians do that one,
but this one does.
This one does.
And what a coincidence that he was able to find Luther Strode at this apartment. And he insisted, Mikey, if you would.
Yeah, sorry. No, good, you continue.
Yeah, I was hoping that you'd move on to the next page.
Oh, I don't have that page, but I have the following page.
Fair enough. So he insisted Luther to continue this amazing ass whooping. And Luther was like, oh, a butler. It's cool. The butler kicks the boy's body off to Luther to finish him off. And the poor guy is yelling, "Please stop."
Ronnie.
It's like, yeah, no, I'm done.
But Christian, you have to do that in a Jersey accent, though. You gotta redo that.
I don't know how to do Jersey accents. Hey, yo, stop. Please, don't do it.
Damone, is he doing it right?
From Jersey, so
is he doing it right?
Where'd Christian go?
Come on.
Christian?
Gotta beam me up, babe, over here.
Oh, that's New York. I don't know.
Bro.
All right, you know what? All I know is New York. I've never been to Jersey.
I am New York.
I am New York. Yeah, so Luther insists that he's done with the ass whooping. And then the butler / librarian demands, "No, you ain't. Continue this ass whooping. I'm very disappointed in this lack of ass whooping." And then Luther says the Lord's name in vain, so I will not repeat that. But he proceeds to see through his skin, and the librarian says, "Not what you expected. You can't see through these moves moves ahead. We aren't all high school bullies and low-rent thugs, Mr. Strode." And then Luther Strode starts to put it together. This man was the one who killed those thugs. He says, "You're welcome." Of course. Luther's like, "You're welcome? I didn't want them dead." And then the librarian replies, "Well, of course you did. Why do you think I'm here? I know exactly what you want, and I know you want to tear them all apart. I know that you want to dance in the rain of blood. Pardon the hyperbole. And if you got such talent, Mr. Strode, why haven't you finished the job? Does your little paramour like this?" Sorry, the librarian has a very advanced vocabulary for young brain like me.
Apparently a Paramore fan?
Yeah, apparently a Paramore fan. He's basically saying, don't leave a job half done.
It's true, you shouldn't.
And then Luther proceeds to lift him up like a baby. And did I chance upon a sensitive topic? He asks. Why did he say chance on a sensitive topic? Hold on. You've got such talent, Mr. Strode, but why haven't you finished the job? Does your little paramour like it when you... Oh, okay. He's talking about his girlfriend. Paramour means love interest. I'm learning. This is not me joking. I did not know what paramour meant. Legitimately. I was confused, and I thought it was a band or something.
Oh god!
I mean, it is a band. Though.
There you go. Okay,
it's a band, but it's named after the word that already exists.
Yeah. All right. Back to the book. Back to me not being illiterate. Yeah. So they begin the fight. Luther notices that he's quite skilled, and he proclaims that the librarian is the one who's the keeper of the book. He is known as the librarian.
I love his axe kick that he like his like high kick that he just drops down.
Oh, right in the middle of it. Yeah,
I think
it's
hilarious.
So hard.
He's
he goes
so
to the
flexible.
floor of the apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, this man has definitely played some Street Fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a Street
That's
Fighter.
That's some guile shit.
Believe it or not, he's Zangief.
Okay, yep, even better.
A British. I imagine that his voice is British in this. A British Zangief.
Yeah.
Yes. So he proceeds to knock him out and says, "Good night, Mr. Strode. We shift."
What? Sorry. He's just like, "Good morning."
Yeah. That's exactly what happened, except good night. Because
in my opinion,
it's morning. It has more impact. So we're at the Myers Memorial Hospital, and we see, what was this guy's name again? Pauly Dean?
Pauly D.
Pauly Dean.
Or the situation.
Yeah.
I think it's
the situation. Let's go with the situation. The situation's a bit of a situation with his broken arms. And we have a rowdy bunch trying to enter his hospital bedroom, but
these are the boys.
Exactly, the boys are trying to enter in, but the nurse is like, "Hey, yeah, only family members allowed, please." And then with the head of said boys gets nice up and close to this poor old lady's ear Says, I'm gonna fuck you up, lady. If you don't, yeah, you go, Mike. You go.
He's like, "Hello, mama. Let me whisper."
And her, not being a fan of modern young people music, was scared off. And she says, "Please just be quick. I don't like it when people call me little mamas or they whisper in my ear." And who's this Jersey Shore member? Snooki?
Sure.
Give me an actual male one if you know one.
Vinny.
Vinny. All right, awesome. So we have Vinny being misogynistic, saying women don't have balls, which is very presumptuous.
And he grabs his balls while he does it too, to like add emphasis. Like, why would you?
Well, because he has to make sure people understand that he has balls.
Hey man, you really are from Jersey, you douchebag. What the fuck?
Vinny interviews the situation to figure out what the situation's happening over here. And the situation says, "I'm not completely sure about this situation." And then Vinny proceeds to get a call, yells at his friends, at who forgot to turn off their phone, and realizes, oh,
we have to change their names.
What? His name is Vin.
We can't call him Vinny anymore. We have to switch.
No. We can work this out.
This
so
is
Vinny,
the best thing that's ever happened on a podcast.
Oh, no. It's me calling myself. How strange. I better pick it up. It's like, "Hello, Magic Man. Is it me, Vinny from the future?" And the librarian was like,
This
"What
fucking
now?"
Willy Wonka on the other line. "Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello."
Exactly. The librarian says that, and Vinny obviously is very confused. And the librarian's like, "Don't worry, I'm a friend." Vinny's like, all my friends are over here. I literally have no other friends. Ever. Not even acquaintances. So you're not a friend. And the librarian's just like, "Trust me, I got some mighty fine information that will make you my best friend." You're probably wondering, who beat the shit out of the situation? Well, let me explain the situation. And proceeds to explain the situation, and we cut back to the apartment. Not the same apartment, a different apartment. Very important. We cut to a very sleepy Luther slowly waking up. Librarian says, "Finally, I was beginning to grow bored." Actually, let me do a British accent for a librarian. "Finally, I was beginning to grow bored. I do not try to move." I like this accent that I came up with better.
Spot on.
I looked some of your more important nerves. You should be able to undo it if you apply yourself.
Just imagine this man just like, you wake up to this man going like,
talking like a baby.
Hey,
welcome now. You do not recognize this place, chap. Well, let me help you remember. And
I think I would ask him to put me out of my misery rather than listen to him. I know he could do it, so I think I'd ask him.
Yeah. Then Luther realizes where they're at, and then we get to a splash page of Dad? Luther Strode's dad, who just left prison today?
Luther Strode's dad.
Yo, his dad's kind of like ripped though,
like fat ripped though.
I know, he has a real gut, but those arms have some definition to them.
Yeah, dude, he's chunkscular.
No, yeah, he's real chunkscular.
Yeah, chunkscular is a great word for it, in fact.
Yeah. So Luther is confused to why the librarian is brought to his chunkscular father's abode. And then the librarian explains in his, of course, librarian voice, "That, Mrs. Strode, you can consider a gift from me to you." Luther Strode says, "That's not much of a gift. Were they out of Xboxes at the Walmart?" Thank you.
Aha.
Yeah, very topical.
It was so funny, guys. Did you notice it?
All right, listen, I'm trying here, okay? It's all on the spot. And then the librarian says, "Oh, and he's funny. Is there no end to your talents, Mr. Strode? I quite like this mask. Very intimidating. I'm sure it will add just the right amount of subcon or terror to your victims. I don't know what subcon means, but I'm gonna ignore it. So why don't
Soup convention.
of course, a soup convention. So why don't you ask me the question that you really want to ask me, Mr. Strode? What does soup con mean?
Christian,
Yeah.
I love the accent, but you got.
What? I gotta stop? You're not liking it?
I love
Yeah,
it.
I would kind of like to be able to hear the words you say.
Yeah, of course,
I'm sorry, I didn't know I wasn't pronunciating. Let me try again.
No,
So-
don't try again. Just give up.
So Luther says, "Why did you send me the book?" And then the librarian replies, "Try again, Mr. Strode." And then Mr. Strode asks, "Why did you pick me?" And then he replies, "Let me tell you a story, Mr. Strode." And
You know what? I'll actually take it for this one.
Thank you. Murder is nature. Can I actually do it? I'll pronounce it a little bit. Murder is nature. Murder was there from the beginning.
Sound like Trump.
Murder is a murder. Murder is our first incident. Murder, for a lack of a better term, is good. We like terms. It makes us strong. It makes us wise. With mad bitches, we like mad bitches. It makes us powerful. We like power. It shows us what is possible, how to survive, how to summon the true strength within, and how to see things as they truly are. Knowledge collected, knowledge perfected, knowledge passed down, knowledge that could only be used by people with certain, guess it, talents. Yay! The title of the comic book.
Can you say talents?
Chinchilla.
I can't say talents.
So the librarian continues that your father here wasted his talent. He could have been something special. He could have been something great. But instead, he just became an ordinary ass, which there is no shortage of in the world.
Oh.
Luther
Christian.
demands.
Christian, you missed something.
What I miss? I literally read everything so far.
Oh, you did. My fault. Sorry.
Yeah. No, what I missed.
No, because I don't want to acknowledge that like we get a little cameo or something. They said when they said like knowledge that was passed down. That guy looks like Jack the Ripper, and I gotta point it out because I love Jack the Ripper. It's my favorite serial killer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack the Ripper is also a Chad, like the librarian confirmed.
Yeah.
Might just call him Chad the Ripper.
Chad the Ripper. So Luther's like, "Hey man, what do you want?" And then the librarian kind of fingers his dad's jaw and asks, "I want you to join." I'll stop. I want you to join us. I want you to be what you were meant to be. I want you to be more. But right now, I want you to kill your daddy. And then the daddy begins to wake up. Because that's what dads do, I guess. So, what's happening here? Okay. He says your father might be a waste of protein, Mr. Strode, but he is better than you. He realized instinctively the truth of power, that power goes to those who can take it, that the world belongs to the person who beat it into submission, that once to master others, you can master yourself, that you don't have to be afraid. And then Luther refuses and says no. And then the librarian says, "Oh, pardon." And then Luther says, "You know, I used to lie awake at night and try to build up the courage to stab him while asleep. But I was always too afraid. But you know what? I ain't afraid anymore." And puts his mask back on, ready to kick some ass. And then his dad finally wakes up and asks for help. It's like, "Hey, son, is that you? Can you help me out? This librarian just keeps on talking like Donald Trump." And then the librarian does an epic sidekick and says, "I sound nothing like Donald Trump." And of course, Lewis is upset that his father, well, not upset, surprised his father is dead. And then the librarian says, "If you're not going to do it the easy way, then we shall do it the hard way. The gentleman who asks you so thoroughly beat earlier are on their way to someone that you value the most. Run now, Luther, and try to save them if you can. And then we cut to the mom trying desperately to call Luther and get in contact with him just to check up on him. And then she hears a knock on the door. Luther runs through the street as fast as he can in order to catch up and see if she's safe. His mom begins to open the door just a crick. She is surprised. We cut to Luther running up the stairs aggressively. Then we hit to the gang going through a door that they just knocked down, saying, "Hiya, we need to have a talk about your boy Luther." Luther finally gets to the apartment, busts down the door, and it is revealed that his mother and his best friend Pete are chillaxing in the living room, wondering where he's been. And then we cut to where the thugs are actually at.
Petra's house.
Petra's house. Thank you.
Honestly, this is the place that makes more sense that they would go.
Yeah.
Why?
But I will say this. I'm very happy Luther went to his mom first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Respect.
Mhm.
Always look out for your mama.
It's true.
So ends issue 4 of Luther Strode. Thoughts, opinions, comments, concerns.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not.
Librarian is a fun enemy.
I'm
Yes.
confused. So is like Petra the daughter of the thug that got his ass whooped?
I'm not
No.
100% sure.
Okay. Yeah. 'cause I
Oh,
don't-
never mind
I
then.
don't-
I might be wrong.
Oh wait, no, maybe.
I don't understand why he was beating up that thug. Like, did he?
Yeah,
find-
yeah, no. It's definitely like her dad or someone, or boy. I don't know.
Yeah, but
They don't really mention. They don't really do a good job of explaining it. We just kind of have
I
to
have
assume.
to assume it's dad because I assume that's who came running in when she like closed the window really fast.
Yeah.
right?
I guess I can't confirm that
Yeah.
though.
So it's confirmed. Yeah, but if it is her dad, then it's confirmed that she's also Italian. So I mean,
Mama
that's
Alex.
that's something. But yeah, no, I thought this issue was great. Again, I love the stuff with the librarians. To see what doing. He's a very fun villain. Him kicking his dad's head out of nowhere was hilarious, dude. It was so unexpected.
Homeboy follows through with what he says.
That's true. But I do like the fact that they mentioned that, like Luther getting this book wasn't like an accident. It wasn't of his own volition. Like he didn't order it himself. It just showed up because like he picked him because apparently his dad had potential and lost it. So it's like, yeah, maybe I could see something in Luther as well. I think it was a very cool way to go about it. I love the lore, the juice, the seasoning. I haven't said that in a while. The seasoning, I think is really cool because like with that flashback, we get it appears to be Cain and Abel in the beginning, which I think is really cool. Yeah, and it seems
I assume it's the first murder,
yeah. So it's the first murder,
and I know that's the first murder in.
and from the look, and like Cain has the red eyes that like that we see Luther have, and as well as the librarian. So and it seems that like it seems that like the same person I think appears to be Cain throughout the ages. So like, and Cain wrote this book. I think is hilarious. Also, Christian, I think you didn't mention that. Like, yeah, he kind of made. He I don't know if it's mentioned in this issue or in the next one. I'm gonna just say it now, just because why not? But yeah, he made multiple copies of this book and put actually he took the book. He translated the text of we'll just call it Cain's master plan. We'll call it that. Put it on the internet for people to look at. Made copies of it and send it out to random people.
That's like the fifth or sixth issue.
Yeah, but
I'll get into it when we get into my stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But
I would like to add, I really love the art for the librarian at the back of this comic.
Yeah,
like the one where he's just standing over a pool of blood is my favorite.
Oh, like the cover art? Yeah.
No, not the cover art. Like the art thingies that are at the end of it.
Oh yeah, the art gallery. Yeah,
the art gallery.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good job. With some of the art. The third one the last one is my favorite one actually. But But yeah, no, this issue was really dope, and I love the misdirect. I mean, we've seen that trope before in comics or in just in stories, but like, I still a nice misdirect that like, it was actually the paramour that the gang was going after instead of the mom. But yeah, I would say rip to Luther's dad, but he's an asshole, so like, fuck him.
Facts.
So R rest.
Yeah, R rest. Yeah, rest in hell. So I'm done. I like this issue a lot. Moving on. So we're doing issue number
5 now.
Yeah. So when you got that,
this cover, I like this cover. I like him just holding the bloody mask.
Yeah.
I think it's a good one. It's simple. It's
simple.
Yeah. Any other? You got thoughts on the cover?
Is the mask plastic? Like is it plastic or is it bandages? Like
bandages, it would be absorbing everything.
Listen,
it seems like
I'm
running.
I'm just gonna put it on the universe. Trad Moore or Justin Jordan. If we ever get a chance to interview you, I'm going to ask. That's gonna be the first question I ask you. What is Luther's mask made of? Because it's confusing. But yeah, no, it's a really good cover. Love the bloody mask and all that. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay. You got anything, Chris?
I like jazz.
You like
so
jazz.
nothing. All right.
Okay. So we start this issue. So
okay.
like I said before, I'm really glad he went to go see his mom first instead of this girl that he's been seeing for all of 6 weeks. So he runs in. He's like, "Oh my God, Mom, you're okay." And the mom's like, "What are you wearing? And what did you do to my door?" But our boy Luther is just like, everything's crazy. And then he turns to Pete and is like, "Pete, I'm gonna go somewhere. You make sure she's safe." And I don't quite understand what he thinks Pete is gonna do.
Exactly.
Like, Pete doesn't have weapons or anything, and the guy he's like running from is the librarian.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he literally just watched him kick his dad's head in. Like, what is Pete gonna do?
No, he didn't kick that head in him. He kicked that head until it explode. He kicked that head once and it exploded. So,
but that's even more my point. I don't know what Pete's gonna do. But apparently he promised that he's gonna try to keep everyone out of the apartment so that he keep the mom safe.
Mm-hmm.
And our boy's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get Petra, because obviously if they're not here, then they're there." And now we cut back to Petra, and she's being woken up with a slap. The good old fashioned wakey eggs and bakey.
That's a mean backhand, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, that you can see the wind.
You can feel it, dude. Moore is so good at this. He's so good at it with his impacts and stuff. It's so good. Oh man.
But Petra, I gotta give it to her. She takes it like a champ. She repeatedly tells him that her own father hits her harder than this.
Which is an upsetting thing to say, but still.
Yeah.
It's not a flex. It's not a flex.
Wake you up for breakfast.
Yeah. It's not a flex. It's not a flex.
It's not a flex, but I guess it's not a flex, but it's definitely an insult.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, we revealed, like, she had a black eye underneath.
Yeah. That was I assumed that was the case, but I guess this is the confirmation.
Yeah.
But did we decide to name him Vin still, or is he the situation now?
I think he's
Vince.
Vince?
Yeah. I mean, we could. I prefer the situation for the situation points.
Okay, so we'll keep him Vinny then. So Vinny's like, "Hey, I'm gonna kick your boyfriend's ass when he gets here, but I said a little bit of ass kicking for you, because Petra's giving him a hard time, but then Petra kicks him right in the balls, and I don't know why they didn't tie down her legs. I feel like
they're not the brightest, aren't they?
No, they're not smart. They're not smart. But you see our brick wall of a man walking after somebody, and he tries to close the door, and it's kind of terrifying. He kind of hugs him through the door. He just
grabs him through the door.
It's almost like there's no door for him.
Like he literally, He does it so hard that like his face peeks through his mask peeks through the door. It's hilarious.
Completely unnecessary. Like he didn't need to punch his face through the door, but he
right?
did.
Like he just had to. It's Luther went crazy. Luther's upset. We get it. Luther's deservedly upset.
Mhm.
But he's like, hey, you feel like a big man fighting a teenage girl, and you know what you did. And it's like, what did you do? You did nothing. Don't feel like a big man. And then he's basically talking down to this adult, while he's beating the crap out of him.
Mhm.
And then we cut back to our good old friends Pete and his mom. Well, not Pete's mom, Luther's mom. And Pete's trying to explain the situation as best he can. Luther's mom is not having it though. She does not believe him, like at all, and she basically threatens to kick his ass. To which Pete has had his ass kicked twice this week already. By 2 100-pound women, not at the same time necessarily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In fact, it may have been the same woman twice, for all we know.
Listen, man, we don't kink shame, so it's fine.
But now this is where things start to get awful for these two characters, who I honestly kind of really liked dearly. I unironically really liked Pete.
Mhm.
But now the librarian comes in and he lets Mrs. Luther know that Pete's telling the truth. And after we see the librarian, though, it gets sketchy from there. We cut right back to Petra. Petra's still giving him a run for his money, and this guy is still taking whacks at Petra. But luckily, she shattered some glass, so now I think she has
shattered glass.
She got glass to cut the rope.
Yeah.
So she's working on that, and her boy comes in, and I think it's great because he comes in through the door, knocks it open, immediately kicks Vinny right into Petra. Like he didn't.
Dude, yeah.
He could have picked him up and threw him, but no, kicked straight to the spine, right into the person he's trying to save. And then he gets jumped by everyone else in the room. Although it looks like he doesn't notice any of them on him.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that like that Vinny's spine is just like disintegrated?
I can't imagine it's still there.
I mean,
he looks motionless as Petra's stomping on him. Because like later in that scene, we have a little panel of Petra literally just stomping on his lifeless body.
It's just a corpse.
Yeah.
He just turned to Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, and Luther's like, "Run! What are you doing, you dumb bitch?" So she runs, and eventually, oh no, Vinny is alive because he gets the gun. I don't know how, but he gets the gun.
Yeah, where did you find that gun?
Well, the situation is always prepared for a situation.
For every situation.
And he also found a gun in like a stash of like, I think it's like
pornos? Titty mags.
Yeah, it's pornos, I think.
Looks like it.
Yeah, tit shaker.
Ah, my favorite. It's surprisingly enough, not a lot of titties in it.
Yeah, it's a Butts Guy magazine.
It's actually an informational video about like paying taxes.
It's actually an informational video about the bird.
Or it's just a compilation of like former Billy Mays OxyClean videos, infomercials.
Ooh, I like that one.
That I would honestly watch more than boobs.
But anyway, he gets this gun from the titty magnet or titty cabinet, and he fires a few rounds into our boy Luther.
Yeah, he straight up goes honk 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 honk.
Yeah, and I don't. I
that was a 6ix9ine reference, by the way. If everyone didn't know.
I assume you guys all this from the very beginning when he got shot in the chest and the bullets just kind of got pushed out.
Yeah, I really like that.
This is for readers. This is a safe bet that we've caught up with where the story began.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that they use. I love that little like they use this moment to start the story, and it's like, oh, here's what happened, and to lead up to this. So it's so cool.
And now we get to what's after. Finally, unfortunately, the librarian is still in the house with with these two people.
Yeah,
demanding for books.
It's not fun. Luther's like, I'm sorry, Luther's not in this scene. Luther's mom is, I don't know who you are. And the librarian's like, hey, I'm a librarian, and actually, I'm here for you. And
But we're not books.
But next thing you know, Pete smashes a lamp over his head, and Luther, I don't even think he closes his eyes. He's completely unfazed.
Dude, he literally just looks at him and is like, really, bro?
Yeah, and he takes
unfazed.
a hearty laugh. And Pete's like, you should definitely run. But apparently she doesn't want to run out of the apartment. She wants to run and get her big gun.
Dude, she wants to get her gat.
Yeah.
Dude, that's actually
a Magnum revolver.
That's like that's a large gun for such a small woman.
And it's hilarious because she probably bought that to protect herself from her husband.
Oh
yeah, but it's more like designed to protect you from elephants.
Yeah. But
it's a full-on elephant gun, just for her dad for her husband because her husband's clearly an elephant.
Yeah, he is fat ripped.
Oh God! But our boy Luther can apparently dodge. Not Luther. The librarian can dodge bullets apparently. Like she fired at him, and he just kind of moved his head to the side. And of course, when that happens, that's pretty much an oh shit moment for most people, you know. But he knocks her out by hitting her once on the forehead, very impressive. And he's about to, he's like, "Hey, I need you alive for my plan, but I don't need you with all your limbs." So it looks like he's about to take a few limmies off her, but
not limmies.
Yeah,
anything but the limmies.
Pete's been trying to find a way to help all this time, and he apparently just throws kitchen knives at him, which this guy catches blades up, by the way. Like, he catches by the blade, which is insane.
Jesus Christ.
And then he throws it back, and he takes off my boy's Pete's fingers.
And thumb.
It's true.
Yeah.
He has no digits on his left hand.
Yeah.
Damn.
He literally, and Pete, the thing is, how crazy this is. Pete ducked. And Pete thought that he would be okay, but he ducked into the knife. He ducked his hands into the knife, and he took
if he didn't off. I think he would have died.
Yeah, that's true. It was either fingers or death, which is a fair trade.
That's true. So yeah, I don't have that page, but it's gruesome. It's very gruesome.
It's a rough to look at page because the digits fly as the knives kind of wax past him. Like, you can see them flying off in different directions.
It's wild.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, he's going to leave Pete alive, though, because he needs him to deliver a message. But Pete is, he's faking it. He doesn't want to give up yet. So he's like, hey, yeah, I'll deliver your message. But first, he picks up a knife and successfully stabs the librarian.
Pete's giving up a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I think we've underestimated Pete's tenacity here. Yeah.
Tenacity.
And I think this is actually the first time that we see the librarian with the black and red eyes, right?
Yeah. Because this man gets stabbed in the freaking neck.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how. I understand how he didn't die. I'm just a little bit more impressed that Pete could sink the knife so deep into him.
Yeah.
But anyway,
a cross. He did a cross, and he's like, "It's only a it is
but a flesh wound."
Yeah,
it's but a flesh. And Pete says "fuck you" while he's doing it. And I think this is a hilarious line that the librarian has. It's "No, Peter, you really can't, but I can certainly, as you say, fuck you." And it sounds like it's going to be this really terrible scene. Of like sexual violence, and I'm really glad it's not.
Yeah.
Let's get crucified.
Because we've already seen irregular violence. I don't know if we're ready to see sexual violence proceed after the regular violence.
Yeah, that would have been, especially with all this blood. I think I would have thrown up.
Be very untasteful.
But no, it's just regular murder, so it's cool.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later because right now, Luther's about to get execution style right in his head. But for some reason, Petra thinks her one glass that she used to cut herself free is gonna stop these four
dudes
with guns.
True.
But you know what? They made their mistake. They took the gun off Luther. He stands up, and it is over for
dude.
them.
This is
the most menacing panel in the entire comic book.
Dude,
Petra
the shadows
from the sheer shock of violence.
Dude, the shadows on his face. It's just like, and he just says, "Yes, let's." And it's just like, and I love how the panel, the speech bubble is all like jagged, and like the text is different, and it's just like,
do you have the image?
Huh?
Do you have the image?
Yeah, it's right here. My fault. Yeah, yeah. It is. It's crazy. It is. It's like
you can see him throw part of the dude's face at the bottom of it.
And and literally just like, because again, like, Trad does a good job with how he's doing the panels, and Justin Jordan obviously helps with the writing. But like, it's just the panels. He's capturing all these moments of like all this madness happening, and also most importantly, Petra's. We don't actually see what happens, but like, it's just Petra's reaction of what's going on, and she's like mortified, and it's just like, dude, like Luther, bro. Ooh.
Yeah. There's so much she passes out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Next page. Yeah. No, it is a bloodbath.
Like we look at it, we see half a dude's head, just the bottom half of his jaw. The person has the one arm shoved in his throat still. We're seeing guts from some guy. One dude's missing an arm. It's some guy's hanging from the ceiling. It's pure chaos.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I just had a thought just now. Like, we from issue 1, we saw this from Luther's perspective, from his back, looking at the scene. But like here, it's from Petra's perspective, which I think is like very interesting, very nice change to it. So
I think it's nice. Yeah, it gives you a different view of the same scene, which I think.
Yeah, like he's thinking, and the thing is, like, he's probably thinking like from the first issue, like obviously this isn't normal. And then you see Petra's right to be like, what the fuck did you do? Like, what is going on? Like, yeah, it's ugh.
And it goes right into another awful scene because, like we were talking about before, this is the little crucifixion scene where he literally knives Pete to the cupboards.
He's dying for us.
The librarian really just knifed him there and left him to die. And so anyway, but Luther comes home and he's like, the librarian was here, but I wasn't. And he sees his mom is gone and his boy is pegged up against a wall.
Yeah.
And that's how issue 5 ends.
This man literally said, "You want to act like Jesus? I'll treat you like Jesus."
I think this one might have been the most violent issue.
Oh, 100%.
Most definitely.
It is ridiculous. Like, I think it's like, I said this when we did Ultra Mega, right? Like a few months ago. And if you want to check the clip out, shameless plug, we did a clip. It's in the corner. I'll put the thing in the corner. I said that when in terms of violence, Invincible, obviously we read Invincible. That book was really violent for a superhero comic. I said that Luther Strode topped Invincible, and then and then Ultra Mega topped Luther. Well, I'm on the fence with it because I haven't read Luther Strode in a while, so like, I don't know what's worse, Luther Strode or Ultra Mega, but like they come pretty close. So
I think Ultra Mega I can kind of take a step back from a little easier. Because it's mostly like aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
So even though it might be incredibly violent, I can be like, oh, it's not like
it's aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who cares about alien guts?
Because I think that was also part of the reason like Invincible was so jarring, because like, oh, they're aliens but they're very human looking.
That's true. Yeah.
Very similar human anatomy.
That's true. Yeah, but yeah, for sure, this is definitely like the most violence we've had in the series so far. But it's really good. The issue is phenomenal. The librarian, again, very charismatic and very intimidating. The recuperation from the first issue of the scene where Luther getting shot. I love that. It brings it all full circle, which is great. Yeah, man, it's just madness. This entire issue isn't even. There's more madness next issue, but I mean, it's pretty wild for the most. Like shit just gets worse and worse every issue. Like,
this is bad times for Luther Strode.
Exactly. Like nothing is going well in Luther Strode's life right now at all. Like it's crazy. But yeah, no, I really like this. It's a good issue for sure. Very good issue. But yeah. Any more thoughts on issue 5 before we go to the last one?
I liked this. What's it called? They had this little fun like joke panel comic thing. Petra's Guide to Gore-Proof Style.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With the what was it? Trust your gut and go with freaking weird spray thingy to get out stains of guts.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think that's. I know it's supposed to be a violent comic, but I think that's a funny advertisement they have back there.
Cute.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little
self-aware. Yeah.
But anyway, you ready to move to the last issue?
Fuck you. Oh, hold on. I also want to just add real quick. There's a piece of artwork of Luther. It's an homage to The Shining, where Luther going through the door doing the whole "Here's Johnny" thing, but it's Luther Strode instead. That would have been so good if they did this in the comic instead of him just grabbing the guy in the fucking door and being like, "Here's Luther." Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, we can move on now. Issue 6, people. Last issue.
I don't get what's happening. Why are there so many people? And why is he?
Because the story is about murder, and he's done murdering.
Yeah, it's about violence and murder and flesh and all that madness. So, yeah, it's literally just a swarm of a vortex of bodies.
Damn.
And Luther just pondering. So, yeah. Also, the thumbnail for this video because I love this cover so much.
It's a good cover.
It's a really good cover. Yeah. I wonder how long it takes to draw that many people. That just sounds very.
It sounds miserable.
It would make me like.
At some point, you just make little upside down U's for heads.
Exactly, but again, that's why I love Trad Moore so much. This man commits, bro.
But there's also like 8 or 9 rows of people drawn with faces.
That is difficult.
Yeah, this man has skills.
Dedicated. I respect him.
Yeah, really dope cover. I really like. This is my favorite cover out of them all, to be honest with you. But yeah. So Damone, you want to finish it off?
Yeah, of course. So this cover opens up, or this issue opens up with our boy Pete. Well, if you don't remember from last time, Pete's been knifed to a wall, and Luther is standing there crying because, it's pretty jarring to see your best bud knifed to a wall.
Yeah, this man is literally reenacting the Passion of Christ. So, yeah.
I also like the X-ray vision that they give us as he's knifed up there.
Yeah,
because I think it's very interesting to see that the knives are very intentionally placed underneath the bone, and then at the very end they're placed between the bone. I think it shows how meticulous the librarian is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't actually notice that. Yeah, thanks. I didn't notice that.
He wants to make sure that this man is kept up and kept alive so that he can pass on the message. Also, I don't remember if he mentioned it last time. The librarian wanted him to pass on a message that he would be at the dock with Luther's mom. And obviously, that's pretty much the last thing Pete gets out. He's not going to make the ambulance. It's very sad.
Yeah, rip to Pete, man.
No, I legitimately really liked Pete. I thought he was funny.
Yeah, he's great. And he didn't deserve this, honestly.
No.
He really didn't.
This was
That's what makes it so sad. Like, it's just like, wow. Terrible way to die. Like, it's wow.
He really did put his all in to try to protect her, though. Like, mad respect.
He did,
With mad respect, yeah.
Yeah, he's
like,
a real homie.
A real good fight.
Like, that's insane.
He could have ran. So many points. He could have just ran, but he didn't.
Don't Luther and the Librarian have something where they can just see what you're gonna do in the future vaguely?
Yeah, they can predict each other's. They can predict moves.
And that means Pete still got him with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, right? Now to compare to Invincible, who's a better homie, frigging William or Pete?
Pete. Definitely. What did William do? What did William ever do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
He bitched.
Yeah.
He really just complained a lot.
Yeah.
He complained.
Why do you think Matt hates him so much?
Because he's gay.
No.
That's homophobic.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, sorry. Let's moving on. Sorry, Damon.
But anyway, Petra tries to reach out to comfort him. And he's like, "Hey, don't touch me. I don't want to be touched right now.
Don't touch thy blessed hand. Don't touch my blessed hands, Jezebel.
Ew, cooties, gross.
What was it? No, like don't touch thy sinning hands, Jezebel.
But yeah, so she's like, "Hey, we should call the police," and he's like, "Yeah, we gotta call the police, and then the police are gonna think I did this." So that means I got to go stop Luther because the police can't stop Luther, but I can. And so he puts on his mask and his eyes go all dark, black and red. And he goes down to the docks and we see our boy, the librarian's doing like this one pinky, like hold up of his whole body.
Dude,
and
pretty cool.
The control.
The amount of like physical body strength he has is insane.
Listen, man, even though the Hercules method or the Cain Bible, I'll call it, makes you a freaking murderer, but like, dude, you can. I wouldn't. I mean, listen, you can do crazy shit like this. Why not?
I'd rather not murder, but I get what you're saying. And there's just some pretty impressive physical.
There's some benefits to it.
Yeah. Honestly, you could probably make a career just off the strength feats you could commit.
I don't know, man. You have to read. Not much of a big fan. Like, it depends how many pictures there are in the book, and maybe I'll pick it up.
No pictures.
No pictures, only words. No, scratch that. The pages are blank. You just have to you just have to like flex your eyes really hard in order to see the words.
Yeah, you have to it's all written in invisible ink. You have to figure out how to get it to show up. Mm-hmm. But like as I was saying, so he did that thing where he like makes your nerves not be able to move to the mom too, so she can't even like yell. But for some reason, he can tell that she's trying to move her jaw to yell. And he's like, "Hey, everyone has so much potential. Like, if you tried hard enough, you could break through what I've done to you. In fact, you have the power to kill me. Everyone has the power to kill me. Everyone has a lot of potential, a lot of talent. It's just they don't try." And she asks if she would like to try. And that this is where he goes on to explain that he's circulated the copies of Hercules manual like all over the world, everywhere. He even put it on the internet, even though he really does not like
the internet.
And then he does that double jointed thing where he bends his hand all the way back. And he's like, only a few people can do this. It's just a parlor trick. It's just your son. That's it. No one else. And I'm here for your son. And then he's like, speaking of, and then he throws his arm through the ground and picks Luther up through it, which is insane.
Dude, it's wow. Oh, the librarian is too much, man. It's too much.
Like that's even more crazy than when Luther grabbed a guy through a door.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, of course, he smashes Luther into the ground. And he kind of Luther's hair gets yanked out, so he kind of goes flying.
Disrespect.
But of course, our boy Luther comes back, and the librarian takes him by surprise, jumps out at him, but Luther has stick maneuvers and kind of launches him over. Librarian just takes it in stride, though.
True.
He does. He lands on his feet like some kind of cat.
Catman.
Echo. Who this is that?
An echo?
I can hear my voice twice for some reason.
I think you're just hallucinating, Damon.
Are you watching the stream on something?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna put these headphones in and see.
Did you take your meds?
No.
The car accident wasn't your fault, Timon.
No,
You gotta let us go. You gotta let us go, man.
It's just doing podcasts by myself. It's just and I'm gonna throw this up. I gotta do all the editing and everything. I just miss my friends, man.
Yeah, man.
I wish I had podcast pals, but it's just me on this podcast.
Yeah, we were dead the whole time.
Pretty lonely, man.
That was the twist. That was the pre-Halloween twist that we have.
That's the real ending to Luther Strode. We were dead the whole time. We're not actually covering this book. It's just Damon.
It's just me, yeah. So I guess if you've been sitting in silence, just listening to me talk, sorry. But if you can see the ghosts like I can, I hope you're enjoying yourself. But anyway, back to the story. Our boy Luther Strode snaps. What are you?
I'm sorry. What? What if we just stayed silent from here on out? Just didn't say anything. And you're like, guys. Okay, please continue.
I think I would have left after like 5 minutes, and you guys would have had to finish this without me.
Yeah, you would have given him like an anxiety attack. You would have just dipped.
I would have been like, nope, not dealing with this.
All right, guys, moving on.
But anyway, Luther gets his mom down, from her hanging chains, and our boy, the librarian, comes at him with this wood beam, just kind of whacking at him. But of course, Luther kind of punches through the beam. I don't know why the librarian's using a weapon. He seems to be someone who very much likes using his fist, so I don't know why he did the weapon thing. But he does box Luther's ears and then kind of dislocate his arms and then throw him on the ground.
Dude, it's wild as fuck because Luther has to snap them back to get back in place. It's disgusting.
Yeah, he does. He does them both at the same time, which I think is actually really impressive. Mm-hmm. And then when he stands back up to fight, the librarian spits in his eyes. And they keep swinging. Now Luther's striking blind, and the librarian is like, "Hey, you gotta control yourself, man. If you don't control yourself, accidents happen." And this is where we see that he dodged, and now Luther has killed his own mother.
Wild.
These were like two crazy deaths. This and Pete, two deaths that did not need to happen.
Luther can't even be mad.
What on earth? Like, give this kid a break, please. It's just too much.
Right? I couldn't handle this. My best friend and then my mom by my own hand. That's just too much.
Yeah, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's almost traumatic as the car crash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then the worst part is
we're dead, Damon. We're dead.
Just let us leave. We're trying, but you won't let us leave. We want to go
after I finish the podcast.
Oh no! Fine.
Thank you.
Where are my 72 virgins?
The librarian has said, "Hey, I did this all to teach you a lesson." And that's to understand that speed doesn't matter, strength doesn't matter. Control is really important. And I want you to also know that everyone else is just kind of meat, flesh to be destroyed, You were born as a butcher, Mr. Strode, and butchers cut meat. But Mr. Strode is not having it. Yeah, he says no. He says no. and now he can finally see. He can finally. You guys aren't talking enough, and it's making me a little uncomfortable. Say more words.
We're not here, Damone.
We're not here, Damone. Hold on, wait. We got a comment though. Rebecca is like, I just got here. How are you guys still podcasting this late? Go to bed. Rebecca, why on earth did we sleep?
We're trying to.
Yeah. We're waiting on Damone, but he
won't let us go.
He won't let us leave.
Ghosts of my friends are slowing me down.
Okay, hit it with speed this time, Damone.
Okay, hit it with speed. Luther Strode, red and black eyes. He says no. He can finally see Librarian's movements. He understands. And he's like, hey, you're a man just like me. And then they get punchy about each other. And then the Librarian punches Luther in the stomach and takes his entrails, like his small intestine,
that's fucking
and like whips him around like a rag doll.
Oh
but then God. Luther, as he comes over to Luther to try to finish him off, he's like, yeah, you understand, right? Like, I was disappointed. I expected more from you. And Luther wraps his intestines around his neck and then uses this as an opportunity to twist his neck around in what would normally kill a person. And then Luther just kind of stuffs his small intestines back inside and starts healing.
Yeah. Because he was like,
if the mind commands it, the flesh obeys. And that's excuse for an incredible healing factor.
Which explains how he was able to get shot and like not die.
And push the bullets out.
Yeah. The mind.
Keep it going.
Mm-hmm. But yes. Anyway, he stands over his mother's body and it's just like, I didn't want to kill you. I just wanted to be better. I wanted to keep you safe. But then we find out the Librarian's not dead at all. Which
no, we can't call this man Librarian.
I don't think why he should have been dead from here.
We don't call him his name is Dikembe Mutombo, because this man is just like, no. Not today.
Mutombo.
He's just Mutombo, bro. It's ridiculous.
Mutombo. Oh, shoot. But then he's like, hey, you got nothing on me, kid. In fact, you are nothing. But if you work for me, I can offer you a purpose, a meaning in life. But here you are, you prefer death. So basically he's saying, hey, I gave you an option to like have eternal bliss, but you just wanted to be killed and go to hell. You're such a waste of talent. But Luther's like, you think I'm nothing? You're right. I'm empty. Luther says he is death. And they're doing like this big battle scene and the cops pull up and they watch this warehouse implode. Absolutely implode. And Petra steps out of the cop car saying Luther, and we see someone rising from the ashes of this factory falling. And it's not Luther, unfortunately. It's the Librarian, missing an arm and with an open ribs.
That's so gross. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's in a rough. And he's like, you know what, Mr. Strode, you could have been better. And then he's like, hey, yeah, you had so many chances, but here we are. And then he's like, and then right in the middle of his sentence, he's like, oh my. And
oh my.
Our boy Luther Strode grabs his spine and rips it out. He rips out his head by the spine.
Bro,
and he's like, this is the only way I can definitely kill this guy.
He's definitely played Mortal Kombat because he just pulled a Sub-Zero, bro.
Yo, for real, fatality.
Oh my God.
Like he really hit him with a fatality. But anyway, we get this dialogue now of Luther just kind of coming to terms with the situation. And I think this is a good one to read. My name is Luther Strong, and I have talents. I know the secrets now. I know what is inside. I know what I was born to be. I know how to kill these men. I know I could dance between the bullets. I know they are all just they are all just meat for the butcher's block. I know that as long as I am alive, I will live. But everyone I love will end up dead. Now I know that I can choose. I know that I can save her. And he just kind of runs at the cops and lets all of them hit him. And he lets himself get killed, basically. But we see, if we scroll down a little more, he rips out of the body bag. And this is not the end of Luther Strode.
Woo!
Woo!
Luther Strode again. The Legend of Luther Strode. Come back next time.
Yeah, and then we see this figure smiling because he knows he isn't dead.
It's true. He still needs Luther, so Luther can't be dead yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thoughts on the last issue, people? Issue 6.
Good twist at the end.
Yeah,
I liked it. Very surprising that they added the body bag at the end.
Yeah, I didn't see the body bag at first.
Yeah, you missed it. Lie. You missed it.
I didn't. It's because they had the art gallery stuff before it.
That's true. That's true.
I don't blame them though. The art gallery stuff was cool. I get it.
Yeah, it's dope. But yeah, no, this issue is. I think it's a really cool like finale to like the librarian and Luther and like again Luther like kind of accepting his new path in life that everyone he loves is gonna die. Rip to his mom because she didn't deserve that at all.
Neither did Pete. My boy Pete. I loved Pete.
Yeah,
Pete was so funny and fucking quirky and annoying. He was great.
Yeah. But the librarian I think was a really fun villain, and like the way I love how he fucking did a fatality and finish him off. That was well earned, I think. But yeah,
it was the right move, the only right move.
Yeah, but again, I think the best part about it, obviously, the action. This is where we get the most action out of the whole like out of all the issues. Because obviously the finale, dude, it's just nasty, bro. We see this man take his intestines and snap this man's neck with it. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so imaginative, like how crazy like this fight is, And obviously Tradmore does a good job with not just showing how kinetic the fights are, but also how gruesome and gross the fights are. Like, obviously you mentioned before, like we see this man's ribs get poked out of his body and all that. It's gruesome, it's nasty, it's brutal. And yeah, man, it's good stuff. But yeah, any other thoughts on issue 6?
I don't think any specific thoughts on issue 6 that I won't have like generally about the
whole comic.
The comic wrap up, yeah.
Word. Yeah, all right, so okay, I mean this before we close it out though, there's actually something I want to talk about briefly. So did y'all know? And I didn't. I kind of found this.
Believe it or not, I did not know. Yeah, I've never known anything.
Oh yeah, because obviously, I mean, if you did know stuff, you would.
I actually know it, but just to make sure you know it, why don't you?
I don't. So you should tell me, Chris.
Oh, you don't? Oh no, yeah, Damone. Mikey, tell Damone.
Yeah. It's clearly you don't know.
No, I know. You'll just explain it better than me.
All right. So for people that don't know, like Christian and Damone,
sure I don't.
Apparently, after finding this news by accident, because I was just looking up Luther Strode stuff.
Yes, I'm familiar with this.
There's gonna be a Luther Strode movie in development.
Ah, yes. I think I was the one who tweeted that out. Yes.
Well, I looked it up because I was just curious if they were.
I'm sorry. Did you say you were the one who tweeted that out?
No, I didn't tweet it out.
I was the one who tweeted it out. Yeah.
No, like I was just curious one day, and I was like, I just typed in Luther Strode movie because like I want to see this in live action. Know what I mean? Because why not? And yeah, it turns out I'll share the article with you right now. Yeah, so
no need. I wrote it myself.
You wrote it yourself.
So you don't have to.
Yeah, but this is from the Hollywood Reporter from I think back in 2020. Yeah, that a Luther Strode movie's in the works. With a new production company, All Nighter. I've never heard of it before, and it's being produced by. I only know the name of one person that's producing it. Dinesh Shamdasani. Who, if people who know their comics, he was the former CEO of Valiant. And he left Valiant back in early 2020 before the movie came out. And when I entered that Valiant, I heard nothing but great things about the guy. So yeah, so he's producing the movie, and I don't really and I guess some other guys. Yeah, they say the company behind Netflix, The Witcher, and Amazon's The Expanse, which I hear are amazing. I mean, The Witcher's great. So yeah, this article was out in 2020. There's no one cast yet. I don't even think they have a writer on board to write the script. But But yeah, that's happening. And thing is, like, this was in 2020. And there was the only recent news we ever got after this was in 2021, and this article's from CBR, even though I don't trust CBR that much, but might as well just look at it anyway.
Rebecca says that there is 0 brain cells on this podcast tonight. Yeah, you're right.
You are about right, Rebecca.
I want to go to bed, but Mikey
credit,
wants
to
show us this article that I wrote.
You didn't write.
Yes, I did.
No, honestly, I think I saw Christian write it, so
I think
we can skip the articles. I'm pretty sure I saw Christian write it.
Yeah, but apparently this
okay, I guess we're still going.
We're going, motherfucker. So like this this recent article was in May 2nd, 2021, and it basically just didn't really give us any new updates. That like it's happening.
So this was over a year ago?
Yeah. There's nothing else.
So why are we? I feel like that's not relevant enough. I feel like we should have got on this a year ago.
That's true, but like,
we let Christian's article sit for a whole year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I even emailed you guys about it. It must have gone to spam or something.
So it went to my spam. Well, it didn't go to my spam folder. I saw it. I just.
Oh, okay.
At this point, I'd probably just assume that this movie's basically in development hell at this point. But yeah, what are your thoughts on like on the Luther Strode movie? Like, are you excited to see this come out at some point?
If it ever comes out, I'd be excited. It seems like it'll be gruesome, but
as
it's been a year and no news, so
as the co-producer of the Luther Strode movie, I would like to add that yes, it is in development hell, and it is not entirely my fault, but I'm working on it. Hopefully, it will be released by 2024.
Gotcha.
2024.
Right. Yeah. But but yeah, so so just to wrap it up then, any other final thoughts on Luther Strode?
Finally,
good book. Read it. Lots of violence, not for the squeamish.
Very true, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really good. I'm happy that we were able to finally cover the book finally. Because when I read this, I loved it. So I'm looking forward to maybe doing the legend or legacy in the future for sure. Because that character that showed up at the end, I know who that is. And if you thought the librarian was that, huh?
Kane?
It's not. I mean, it is Christian. Yeah, it's you, Christian.
No, I mean, the librarian called him Kane earlier, didn't he?
Nah. No.
Is it Bane?
I thought he did.
It's
no, he definitely didn't say Bane.
But yeah, I'll just say, Kane shows up. He becomes the main villain in the next 2 volumes.
Oh, so I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
If you thought the librarian was worse, he is 10 times worse.
And 100 times. I was right though. Again, the librarian did literally call him Kane.
Okay, Damone, you were right, but like most importantly, why would you let us go? But
shit, you're right. I should have brought it up earlier.
That's my bad. Great story, great art. Tradmore kills this book. This made me like a bigger fan of Tradmore after reading this one. So yeah, man, I love this series. What would you rate it out of 7, Damone? Because you're here.
7.
Yeah.
5.4.
5.4 out of 7.
5.4 out of 7.
Gotcha. All right, Christian. What
I give it a 5.7 out of 7.
I will give it a 5.9 out of 7.
You know what? I'll give it a 6.
I will also give it a 6.
You know what? I'll give it a 5.
I feel left out now. Can I give it a 5.5?
Yeah, you can give it a 5.5.
But overall, people, we love the book clearly. So if you can go to your local comic book shop, check it out. Get the whole series because all of it's out.
Support your local comic book store and game store if you have one,
and libraries.
Yes, libraries.
The librarian will come and get you. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, any other thoughts on Luther Strode in general? Hopefully, we'll do the other ones. I'm looking forward to doing the other ones if y'all wanna.
I would like to. I think this was interesting comic.
I like this book.
Well, honestly, I don't know anymore because there's no Pete. Does Pete show up again?
No, he's dead.
Oh, then I'm not sure I can read anymore. I really liked Pete. I was in it for Pete, kind of.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, people. So that's the Strange Town of Luther Strode. Let's be on the lookout for when we do Legend of Luther Strode, which is the second volume in the series. But yeah, people, thanks for watching this, or for people who are watching this or will watch this, we appreciate it. Check out all the content on the channel. Check out the clips, because the clips have been doing very well, and I work really hard on those. So please check them out. It's a lot of laughs, a lot of the lulls from our podcast are in the clips. So yeah, so check those out. Look out for more content in the future. I'll say this now because I know Rebecca's watching. We're watching this. We're planning on doing 2 series coming up. We're gonna plan on doing Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. I'm really looking forward to doing that one, as well as Rebecca's doing her own series with the IDW Transformers stuff. Yay! But and so yeah, be on the lookout for that. And yeah, we'll and also
everybody loves big robots,
of course. And also look out for some After Darks in the future. So as you know, D23 is coming up, so we're gonna definitely do one about D23, as well as maybe some potential interviews. Maybe we got some stuff going on in there. So yeah, people, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So Christian, since you're here, you can finally do your question now. So what's your question?
Question of the podcast: who wrote that article? Was it me or me? You decide.
It was me, actually.
Oh shit. Okay, real question though: should Damone let us go?
I'm sorry, you guys are trapped with me till the end of time. We'll be back next time, doing the Legend of Luther Strode.
Maybe. All right.
I'm not sure. This is me saying it again for the people who couldn't hear the ghost in my head earlier say it.
Gotcha. But people, comment, like, subscribe, answer Christian's question in the comments below. We'll catch y'all next time.
Finally, the afterlife.
Go safe.
I'm gonna go home.